Away from the transfer news around Manchester United. I know the window is still 2 months away, and that is why, but I've been drawn into this midfield hunt for Manchester United. Let's just call it that. Why would Manchester United be going for Angelo Stiller, for instance? I've been doing some digging around, been doing some reading and trying to find out why Manchester United are being spoken about again by two big journalists about us going in for Stiller. Potentially January, and that's as far as it goes. But there is more to this. I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about the Elliot Anderson link as well. I was probably right. I think someone might have been watching the show earlier on as well, because all of a sudden, a couple of journalists are talking about Mason Greenwood again. I don't know. Look, I picked up on the story and I picked up about the links, but we'll also talk about who has been mentioning Mason Greenwood and the so-called Manchester United stance. Very similar to what I was talking about before, actually. Not trying to big myself up or anything like that, but look, it's there for everyone to see. And sometimes it just sparks a debate, doesn't it? And more people start talking about it. And also, Delit's been talking. I'm loving the way that Delit's talking at the moment. I'm going to go through some quotes from him tonight also. It is Champions League night. Don't forget, straight after this show, we're going to be over on Football Talks. We're going to be watching that Liverpool game and going through all the Champions League action with our brand new format, courtesy of Stream Builder over there on my other channel. Please do subscribe to that channel if you haven't already. We're going to be there straight after this show tonight. So it is a full shift tonight, everybody. Busy night. But first of all, let's get into the Manchester United news. That's what you're all here to listen to and find out and talk about. Get into the live chat. Talk to me right now. We're talking Angelo Stiller, first of all, and then links with Manchester United. Both Florian Plettenberg and Fabrizio Romano have been talking about this tonight. And in fact, yesterday as well. I didn't want to talk too much about it. Like I said, I just don't see United being able to get these sorts of targets in the January transfer window. That's where I'm actually at the moment. So I'm not 100% on these, but you look into it and it is a talking point for Manchester United, because we are obviously going to be buying in the summer window at least. And it's all dependent on how many we're actually going to go for, the deals that we can get for these players. Some papers are talking about Manchester United going to put a £70 million bid in for Elliot Anderson. We'll touch on that in a minute. But why would Manchester United be looking at Angelo Stiller? Romano has come out and said then United wants a midfielder in 2026. In his latest video, he's actually been talking about this, and he's been saying that they will still try for January. Now, he then went into detail on the Angelo Stiller story, because Florian Plettenberg of Sky Germany has also been talking about the situation around Angelo Stiller and Manchester United's definite interest. Romano then did back this up and say, look, there was a lot of talk about Angelo Stiller in the back end of the summer transfer window in August, that Manchester United were going to bring him in late, a late deal for the Reds because they didn't get Carlos Baleba. That wasn't true, and he put that all to bed. But Manchester United do, in fact, have a big interest and are still going to continue to monitor Angelo Stiller in the coming weeks and months through this season. If there is an opportunity, they will go for it, but only if they can go for it. Now, there is a subplot to this as well, because looking into the details and looking into Angelo Stiller now and where he's at with Stuttgart, Romano has said he would be open. Florian Plettenberg has said he would be open to a move next season. Now, United are not going to go and break the bank, so this is leading to the summer transfer window, because I don't think they're going to go over and out of the way in January for him. But I think Manchester United are already compiling their list. Angelo Stiller is willing to leave Stuttgart. That's a definite at the end of the season. His contract has a release clause for $31.5 million. I've double-checked this, and it is verified on Capology as well. They're saying that is the case. What he's on, he's on 75 grand a week wages at the moment. So he's going to fetch a fair price in terms of what he's going to be on wage-wise as well. German clubs do pay their players well. But they get rewarded in big bonuses also to incentivise them. Something that I think is now being picked up on in the Premier League as well with other football clubs. But Angelo Stiller's buyouts, his release clause is 31 million. Now, Stuttgart are reportedly trying to buy that out so they can raise the price for Angelo Stiller. They know that he is going to be a hot property next summer, and this is what they're doing now in preparation. He is a main fixture for them. Obviously, Bundesliga, Europa League football at Stuttgart are playing this season. He is a permanent fixture for them in that midfield, and he is going to be... He's going to be taken by somebody, and Stuttgart are positioning themselves. They are doing everything in their power to try and buy out the release clause for Angelo Stiller and get him on a bigger deal. So, they can basically just then raise the price for him in the summer because they know what they've got, and he is going to be leaving. That's a definite. So pretty much every journalist who is reporting on this is saying the same things. It was one more year at Stuttgart. He wasn't going to leave on the last few days. He's got that integrity. Romano talked about that as well. And then it was gone. See you later. Thank you for your services. Let's grab as much money as we possibly can. But 31.5 million for a well sought after midfielder like him is cheap as chips. And Manchester United, really, they're stealing a march on everybody else. If they can get hold of him or get their claws into him early doors, maybe some pre-contract agreement, maybe have something settled and agreed. This can happen in seasons. Obviously, we've seen it before with a few different players. So can Manchester United get in early on this one and incentivise this deal in some way if they really want to go for him? Because the more and more talk that we hear regarding the other players United are going for, the more likely they are going to be going for absolutely ridiculous money. And I know if you want the best players, you've got to pay the money. But Manchester United at the moment are not doing too bad with their transfer activity. They're not doing too bad in the recruitment area. I would put Angelo Stiller down my list in terms of the other players, but I do understand Manchester United are looking for 2 midfielders. Now, this kid could come straight in off the back of 2 Manchester United midfielders leaving this summer because we need to move on Casemiro, and Bruno Fernandes's future is not sorted yet. So in that instance, we do need 2 midfielders in. So I'm thinking if we buy one of the big guns and then maybe a cheaper one on the side, like a 31.5 million release clause Angelo Stiller, just putting it out there, I would take Stiller over Hjulmand all day, every single day, because I just don't want to deal with Sporting and the crazy prices that they are trying to get for their players. Don't want to deal with that situation in the summer. I'm sure Manchester United have looked at that and thought of that also when it comes to what they can get from Sporting. It's not going to be easy to get any deal done there, but still, I think there is an opportunity with Stiller. It's whether you like him or not, whether you've watched him enough, whether you think he'll be able to handle Manchester United. There is lots of questions to be asked when it comes to players like this. And again, he isn't Prem proven. He is just one of them players that has the characteristics and attributes that marry up to a Premier League player, except he's playing his trade in the Bundesliga, and you're never going to know. And that's always the ultimate, isn't it? Look, Manchester United, in terms of German players, it's a rarity. It is a big rarity for us as a football club, and I'm not saying that's why we should be buying him, but still, I do believe that Manchester United, if Romano is saying that we're keeping close tabs on him, I don't think we're going to go and get him in January. I think they'll try drive a hard bargain, and he has committed himself to. He's committed himself to the Stuttgart cause for the rest of this season. So, again, he isn't going to be our only signing. Make that very, very clear and get that across. I think he's going to be another signing on top of a bigger signing. I think there's 2 midfielders coming in this summer. If you gave me a Stiller and a Belieber, Stiller and a Anderson or a Wharton, different options there. Then you've got Mainu, the attacking type of midfielder in there. I'm liking the look of our depth and liking the look of our squad at that point then. And I think they would be very, very progressive signings for Manchester United. But look, it's a long way to go still. But I just wanted to dig into this and whether or not Manchester United can get anything done or early before the summer transfer window actually starts. That's a big, big question, I feel. And I think if they can, they will. It just depends on the player. It depends if they can get in. And Stuttgart trying to bump up the price on Stiller definitely means that they know that there are some big, big clubs hovering around. And they'll know that Manchester United will be spending big this summer. So I'm not surprised that they're trying to buy out that release clause and make this a more lucrative deal for them. If it gets to that point, by the way, I think United walk away. That's my feeling on this one. I think United end up walking because we are not going to be dragged in to that type of, let's just say, that type of negotiation, I don't think. I purely believe that Stiller would be alongside somebody else. I mean, look, I'll ask you if you think he is the right type of player. Get into the comment section now. So we're asking the live chat right now. Would you go for Stiller if it was alongside another big player? Does it have to be alongside another big player? Can we not just be buying one player in like Stiller? I don't think that's going to happen anyway. And I think the inevitable is that we are going to be seeing two midfielders coming in the summer anyway. Apparently, Sancho has personal issues at Villa, according to some fans, and could be returned. What a waste of potential if true. Oh, God. Do you know what? In a way, I hope he returns because it means Man United can get another deal out of him. I don't think he'll be able to, though, and I think that is all just fan-driven anyway. Not seen enough of him, but saw him miss a penalty and a sitter after working himself into a great position. Look, maybe he could just lay it off to somebody else next time, eh? I'm sure there's plenty of players that have done that already. I prefer Gonzalo Garcia rather than Endrick. He seems like he's going to be a pain in the ass in the future, but Garcia looks good. Why are we even talking about Endrick, Wayne? Is somebody else talking about him in the chat? Look, he has been linked to Manchester United, but again, stupid talk, I feel. I don't think United would go for Endrick. Let's see what else we've got here comment-wise. Lee says, no way Kobe will be at United next season without getting game time. Kobe's future dependent solely on Bruno Fernandes. It's as simple as that, isn't it? Not the right choice beside Bruno. If Bruno's gone, no. Daz, if Bruno's gone, that's what we're talking about here. Where does two new midfielders leave Mainu and Agate? Well, I feel like it's going to be, like I said, the smaller player, the bigger player. If Bruno leaves, Mainu succeeds. If Bruno is still here next season, you could wave goodbye to Kobe Mainu instantly. As soon as the window opens, he's gone. I think United have to sell Kobe Mainu. If Bruno stays past this season, then United have to sell Kobe Mainu. It gets to a point where you're like, right, okay, enough's enough. Enough is enough. And let's not forget, I'm not talking about Kobe Mainu here being pushed out. I'm talking about somebody partnering Kobe Mainu because I feel like that is the plan. If Ruben Amorim sees Kobe Mainu as the future of Manchester United, there has to be a plan where he brings someone in to fit next to him. Not replace him. Why would you not sell him now and get somebody else in, i.e. in the summer? Why would you not move him on if you didn't have an idea of what you were going to do with him? You cannot keep a kid on the bench and then eventually, when the season finishes, you've made him stay that long and not play, and then it's the same again the next season. That will never happen. If Bruno leaves, Kobe stays. If Bruno stays, Kobe leaves. I think that, as crazy as that sounds, and people say you're just building something up out of anything there, Adam, that is a real reality, and I don't think you can look past it. That is what is going to happen. Guaranteed. Still reminds me of Michael Carrick. The guy is a genius in midfield. He's one of them crafty little buggers. He is. He's football IQ. He reads the game impeccably. From what I've seen anyway. He does move around the pitch and is that link-up type of player. And by the way, again, don't count out Manchester United bringing in a Kone or a Jimmy Thwaites. Just don't. They're not going to go and spend. I've said this before, and we talked about this last night and I think this morning as well. They're not going to forget about the academy players. They're not going to go out and waste money on players that aren't going to feature in the first team. If you are going to bring in a player that's probably not going to get into the first team squad straight away, not into the first starting 11 straight away, then you're going to bring in an academy player. I think that's United's angle. If they're going to sit on the bench, I'd rather be an academy player. Obviously, there's a lot of players that need to leave before we get to that point, and we will have to eventually build some squad depth and get some other players in. But I don't think you've managed to build squad depth and have that unity within your squad with everyone playing their part until you're really challenging. It's like you look at Liverpool's squad, they're challenging. City, Arsenal. Arsenal's squad is built to succeed. They are all right, and I think every single player can understand that there is a rotation in that team because they are challenging for everything. With United right now, we've got to get there. You've got to build up there. So it's sieve out the crap from the first team that really aren't good enough. Replace them perhaps with some academy players. Well, you build your starting 11 up. Well, you are not in all of the competitions you can be, i.e. European competitions, like this season. And then you start to build more and more and more on top of that. It takes about 3 to 5 years. Year number 1 is nearly complete, and we're sort of just about seeing an identity, and we have recruited excellently. The players that we brought in are all playing a huge part under Ineos's reign so far. And so, again, you don't have to look at the starting 11 to see their influence in what Manchester United are building right now. And yet you could argue, look, well, to be honest, you know what? I'm going to say Ineos are the reason why Ahmad is in the fray. Ruben Amorim definitely is. Ten Hag, not a chance. But you look at De Ligt, you look at Yoro, you look at Lamens, you look at Sesko, you look at Mbumo, you look at Kunyoff, all of these type of players. Like their influence is there now. One more window, and I think we might have a full overhaul of Ineos players that they have brought in their time in power in that United starting 11. Adam, I think we need 3 midfielders, 2 outs of Baleba, Wharton and Anderson as the main ones. And the cheaper one are Neves, Stiller and Muniz from Palace. I get you. I get that. It's a good point, Lee. I think a lot of people are the same. A lot of people actually feel like United need to just make this statement. And you know what? Don't count out a Wharton and a Baleba yet. Or an Anderson and a Wharton. Don't count out 2 big signings for Manchester United. That will be dependent on European football, of course. United need at least Europa League football to be going after players like that, I think. Well, 2 anyway. I still think that we can get Carlos Baleba no matter what. And maybe then, if you are in Europe, you can really go out and spend a little bit more. And like I said this morning, with what Manchester United have got cooking and bubbling within our academy and how we're going to get around PSR, if you haven't watched that video back, I go through the whole PSR angle from Manchester United and the profit that we could make this summer. But go watch that back afterwards as well. But Manchester United, if we get European football, quids in, and I think we can really go for some serious targets at that point. I will play for 100 million. A big up. Go for it, Andreas, mate. Love that. If we get Stiller, we would probably get a Prem-proven player to play with him. Like I said, I do believe United will get at least one Prem-proven midfielder. I think it'll be one of the 3, the big guns. I do believe that Manchester United will get one of Anderson, Baleba or Wharton. Romano was actually talking about this when we was picking up off the back of what he said about Angelo Stiller. He knows that United are buying a midfielder this summer at least. It's going to be big for Manchester United. And he mentioned Carlos Baleba again. United are not going away from that deal. And they will try still to get Carlos Baleba in the summer. And Romano has stood by that all the way. And so that is going to be something that could actually still happen for Manchester United yet. I'm getting more comments in, so pile in, please, everybody. Secret transfer target. I missed at the beginning. No, it's not so much a secret, but Angelo Stiller for 31 million buyout clause in the summer, with Stuttgart actually trying to buy out his own buyout clause so they can raise the price of the player because they know Manchester United are going to be coming knocking. That is the story from the top, just to summarise it anyway. We would need 2 midfielders anyway if Casemiro and Bruno both leave. I think we need 2 midfielders now, even if they're still in the squad. That's what I believe anyway. Menu isn't playing even if Bruno leaves. He's 4th choice in the central midfield and can't get a game. We're going to buy 2 midfielders or 3 new central midfielders. Kobe is done under Amorim. Look, we keep saying this, Carl. We keep saying this, but he won't let him leave. I know he needs numbers now. I know he needs him in his squad right now. But I would like to see what happens if Bruno does go. I don't believe Kobe's done until Bruno leaves. I really don't. If Bruno stays at Manchester United this summer, then Kobe is completely out the door. Fully convinced of that. And I think that will happen. If Bruno leaves, I think Kobe would like to see what happens. I don't think he wants to leave United. And at that point, I think you've got to feel a little bit more comfortable with what's happening. And you've got to think you've got a better chance if Bruno's not there anyway. I want to see United without Bruno in the central midfield. He gets 1 assist, and everyone forgets how bad Bruno was in his last 20 minutes. No, we didn't forget that. We picked up on that. And you could spin that around and say that everybody's talking about the bad bits of Bruno Fernandes, but everybody then forgets about the amount of assists that he gets and then moments where he creates something out of nothing. So you can spin Bruno both ways, and I've always got Bruno's back on that side of things. I'm intrigued to see what we're like without Bruno Fernandes. Do I think Bruno Fernandes is the future of this football club? No, I don't. He's turning 31. His contract is going to be up in 2027 anyway. And there's no way he gets a new deal past that on the wages that he's on. So, look, the Bruno haters and the people who don't like Bruno, your time will come. He is going to be gone within the next couple of years, I feel. It just depends if he's gone this summer. That's a big one. That's a big ask. Is Bruno done this summer for Manchester United? Very, very intriguing and busy summer for myself coming up, I feel. I do. All right. Cobby can leave with Bruno. We need players who are here to fight. Well, Cobby does want to stay and fight. We can't say that Cobby doesn't want to be in this side. He wants to play, but let's be honest. The argument for him is there for everybody to see because Bruno stinks the place out and never gets dropped. Bruno does do good things, like I just said, still at the same time. I think that's why Ruben keeps him in, because he can create that moment that wins you a game. And that's why he's always been in with every single manager he's played under. Like most people, I think it was Roy Keane who was saying it with that assist that he got for Harry Maguire, is that most people would take a touch there and try and cross it. Bruno, first time, bang, straight back in. Liverpool's defence not settled. And there's Harry Maguire. If he didn't make it, De Ligt was behind him. And United win the game because of it. That's big. And that's what Ruben knows that Bruno has got. And there isn't many other players that do it. There isn't. He is one on his own, Bruno. And look, I'm not defending him here. I'm not trying to make a big point for keeping him or anything like that. Like I said, I think the future of Manchester United is without Bruno Fernandes. And that's just through his age. And that's just through naturally moving him on. I think that's what will happen. Hope we do this madness. Hope we do. It's madness that we talk about these great youngsters all the time and never play them. I do it all the time. I am well and truly guilty. I would love to see a Jimmy Thwaites in this side. I would love to just see Manchester United fans who don't follow the academy to really pick up on something like this happening, because if this does happen, it would bring so much more attention back to Manchester United's academy again, and it would be massive for the belief in a lot of Man United fans that we are still doing this. In our time of need, we turn to our academy. It shouldn't be happening like that. We should be more organised. And I love the way that Ruben is definitely holding out on some of these youngsters, that while we get settled and while the first team are given their chance to try and figure out this system, because it's a thankless task coming in right now into Manchester United from the academy. There just isn't enough cohesion. There's not enough understanding yet. It's getting there, and we're getting better. I think into the new year, calendar year that is, I think we'll see some of the academy players come through again. Lawrence says, Cobby seems a polite lad with aggressive agent management. He's the sort of player Scholes. He's the sort of Scholes style. And in the Iniesta/Xavi setup, a bit of a throwback, but could be good at Forest. Oh God! So you built him up to be Iniesta and Xavi, and then all of a sudden he's going to Forest. Bigged him up and got rid of him. Bruno was all right on Sunday. We'll see him on back to normal this weekend, giving the ball away 30 times, and being out of position and blaming kids for his mistakes. Our captain, Cal, mate, I need to have a chat with Cal. He is a full-on doom and gloom merchant at the moment. He really is. Come on, Carl, mate. We'll have a chat soon enough. Big up. We're bringing it back up this week. We fixed the issues from last week, and I need to get into Carl. He's not feeling it. He's not feeling the 2 in a row. The poor lad there. He needs more. I'm going to help him out. I'm going to convince him that we can actually beat Brighton this weekend. We're going to do a call-in on Friday, I think, before the Brighton game. I only just realised, by the way, that United's kickoff is 5:30 this weekend. God. I don't like I don't like the late kickoffs. I'm sorry. Like, there's a lot of people that are loving this Saturday night, early evening, late evening football. They are 5 and 8 o'clock kickoffs. I don't like them. I don't. I want my Saturday evenings to be my Saturday evenings. I don't need that much football. I want it to all be on the 3 o'clocks on my football day. That's where I need it to be. I want to sit back, relax, probably watch a film. I'll go to the pub on a Saturday. I don't want to be watching football at 8 o'clock. I'm a dinosaur, aren't I? Old school. Sorry, everyone, if you do like that football. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but no, another late kickoff. Just give us a normal game, please. 3 o'clock's all the way. I'm in. All the way, I'm in. Right, moving on to the Elliot Anderson story. This one's come from the Mirror as well, and they are claiming that Manchester United now have made their intentions very, very clear, that Manchester United are in for Elliot Anderson. We kind of knew, and we knew that this was something that was probably going to be bubbling anyway. If United are looking for proven midfielders, Elliot Anderson has to be on that list. Surely he has to be there because he is the perfect midfielder for Manchester United. And I'll go back to what I said 2 weeks ago. And I said, if you're asking me which midfielder I would take right now, in my order, I would go Elliot Anderson, Adam Wharton, Carlos Baleba. Obviously, they're the big three, and that's what we're talking about. But that would be my order right now. That would be the way that I would go. I just think he offers so much more. And I've seen how press resistant this kid is, and I honestly feel like if United can, then do. I know Newcastle are hovering. I know there's a few others. Obviously, he came from Newcastle. He's only been away from Newcastle for 2 seasons. But in a way, like Sean Dyche at Nottingham Forest, have they got a chance of going down? Can they survive relegation? They're surely too good to go down, but are they able? Like I said, like you can imagine the scramble for that man's signature if Forest went down. I think they'll do enough to stay up. But again, I don't think the teams are as bad as they were last season. The promoted sides aren't as bad. Look where Sunderland are. Already you're losing one of the more established Premier League teams. I don't see Sunderland dropping down that much. Leeds are holding their own. Burnley have just got their second win of the season as well. They're moving up also. They're not as weak. So it's not a foregone conclusion that you're just going to accept. You've got to accept, that's the promoted sides are the automatic relegation this time. It's far from it. Far from it. So reality is going to say to us right now, by the time Christmas comes around, we'll have a look at that table. Maybe there's a chance that you could be looking at Elliot Anderson from the Championship. Look, it's a far cry. I doubt it. I think they've got more than enough to survive. But this report is saying that Manchester United have definitely entered the race. And Anderson and his representatives actually know, which backs up a story from Indy Cali from the other day, which said that his representation has been contacted by Manchester United, and his head has been turned. He might actually be open to the Manchester United move. So that's a really good signing for United if they can pull it off. Look, it's a long way off, and it's definitely not fully confirmed or anything like that, but this is going to be something that's really could happen for Manchester United. And I tell you what, do it right now. Go into the chat again. I'm sure I've asked this question before. But put them in order of preference. Baleba, Wharton, Anderson. Go right now. Write them out in the order that you would buy them in terms of what you think fits Man United best right now. And let me know. Get into the chat, everybody. Right, we have actually got some more updates coming in as well regarding the situation. Well, with people talking in and around the club, Ruben Amorim has been talking about Jim Ratcliffe, Omar Barada. I'll just read out this little extract here so you're completely updated with all of the news which is going on around the football club. Amorim, Jim Ratcliffe and Omar Barada always send me messages after the game. Everything they say to the media about saying on as Manchester United coach, they tell me multiple times via messages. So Ruben's talking. I mean, he mentioned this the other day. This was pretty much after the Liverpool game. But he's talking here about what people are talking about in the media. He knows before it even comes out. and this is the angle he's trying to take here with this one, I think. That won't change the way I see our club. The frustration I feel at the end of every game. Jim doesn't send me messages talking about the years of contract, but he's always saying that he wants me here for many years. Both he and I know what football is like. We know what the time periods are like at our club. Talking about how difficult it is to survive if you're not doing well. It's very hard for me to feel more relaxed because it's something that comes within me. I feel very bad and I want great performances also because it's my image as a coach that's being exposed. It's something very personal. So open up a little bit more on what he's actually said there, Ruben Amorim, as well. And when you look at his performances, when you look at the way that he's so stubborn in keeping his formation and everything that he's talked about when it's been bad at Manchester United, you cannot help but feel that he feels like he's being backed and he's able to do what he wants. And this was the only reason he was ever going to come to Manchester United mid-season. Give me the time. Give me all of your effort from behind the scenes. Back me when it's hard because I am going to rip things up. This is just what it sounds like to me. And I can imagine the conversations going on with Omar Baradas, Jim Radcliffe, Jason Wilcox. We picked this guy. We back this guy. And we have to give him that chance. And it does look like, and it's easy to say it now because we just won 2 games, but it does like, even when things were bad, they were still going to back him. They were still going to be there. And that, I think, is there for everybody to see in that time. Like, Sir Jim Radcliffe was definitely full on in and right behind Ruben Amorim. It didn't matter. It didn't matter one bit. But look, it is what it is now. And luckily, it's worked out for Wilcox and Co and Barada and Sir Jim Radcliffe to that point. And we are now in a position where we can look at that and say it was the right choice. But long time to go yet. Talk is cheap, as Chris Wheeler said in the Daily Mail the other day. Keep your comments coming in, everybody, as well. Don't forget, straight after this show, we're jumping across to football talks. We're going to be going into the game tonight, the Champions League games. We're going to be talking, we're going to be watching Liverpool because Arne Slot himself actually has been talking ahead of the Manchester United game. And you know what? You've got to love the sour grape side. Honestly, you never see the coach's true colours until he loses a few games. And Arne Slot is on a different level at the moment, old Arne, in terms of what he's talking about and how he sees what's happened at weekend, because I'm just going to get into it now and what he's actually said. And we'll talk about this more, actually, when it comes to the watch-along later on. We came up against a team with a very clear and well-executed game plan. There was some debate about my post-match comments, but I actually meant them as a compliment. They defended deep and rallied on long balls. Relied on long balls. That's what made it difficult for us. You know that it was bitterness now because he's trying to backtrack a little bit while still trying to hold out that United were consistently relying on long balls all of the time. It wasn't continuously long balls, was it? It wasn't. Manchester United scored from a header forward from Harry Maguire that caused a melee. That was it. Manchester United scored from a set piece. Yes, long balls were in that game, but they were there for both teams. And again, Arne Slot, sour grapes again for me. He needs to get a grip and he needs a win tonight. It'll be interesting to see how Liverpool actually do in that game in Frankfurt tonight. That's the one that I'll be concentrating on the most on Football Talk. So please do make sure you join us straight after this show as well, everybody, on that one. It is going to be fun and it's going to be interesting how they react tonight, Liverpool. Will it be 5 in a row? Look, I know it's the United channel here and everything like that, but it is interesting to see another team similar size United who could be going through something. I'm not going to say similar to what we have because they're in the Champions League. They're still up there in the top 4. But if United lost 4 games in a row, Ruben wouldn't be here. The media would have hounded him out of the football club. And a lot of the fans would have as well. But because Arne Slot got that title last season, he is still in a job. That's the reality. And it is different if it's United or if it's United to another football club. The stats actually, in some quarters, are actually saying that Liverpool played more long balls than what Manchester United did, which is interesting. Keep your comments coming in on Anderson and the players. I did ask you before to get your preferred 3 in order. Please get into the live chat on that, everybody. Don't forget, we are running our match bingo tonight as well, everybody. This is going to be over on Football Talks this evening, so make sure that you do scan the QR code on your screen. We'll drop the links into the live chats as well, everyone. It's in the description if you're catching up later on. Grab yourselves a chance of winning a few £100 tonight by watching the football. Match Bingo is the place to be. You are missing out if you haven't already downloaded the app, so use the QR code or hit that link in the description. Download the app, set up your free account, deposit as little as £10, and then put in the promo code on that deposit page, FUTV, all capitals, and boost your deposit amount by a massive 100%. And be part of the winning team that is Forever United TV, because we have got people hundreds of pounds up in this game already. So make sure that you do get onto that for the Liverpool game tonight. We will be running it on that one as well. All right, more comments coming in. I just can't believe so many teams are playing in the Premier League these days. A top 4, even top 6, it always seems to be up for grabs. Yeah, but at least it's not the same teams that are always taking it. This is how you've got to look at it right now. This is how you've got to look at how people are actually, how teams are actually competing now. Like beforehand, it was always the same teams. Now we're looking at potentially Palace and Bournemouth creeping in there. I mean, who'd have thought that? That was never, ever going to be the case. Will Man United get their 3rd win in a row this weekend? That is the poll. All right, I asked the question. This is where I'm going to get into the chat now. Who is your order of player in terms of what fits United the best right now? Anderson, Wharton, Belabor, which way are you going? Let's go through a few of these quickly, randomly. Andrew says, Anderson, Belabor, Wharton. I'd love Wharton and I want him, but if I am, Leon says, it makes sense, that one. Anderson, Belabor, Wharton, again, that's the second one. Belabor, Wharton, Anderson for Carlo. Wharton, Belabor, Anderson. Daz, not listening to that. It's never going to happen. Wishful thinking. Anderson, Wharton, Belabor, Anderson. Belabor, Anderson. It's like Wharton, for me, is the least favourite out of all 3 of them midfielders. Crazy to think that, but that just goes to show the quality of all of them players that we're looking at there. And people going for Anderson over Wharton now, you wouldn't have thought that at the start of the season. But that's how good a start he's had in a failing Forest side, by the way, as well. So that has to be taken into consideration also. Right, let's get some more comments in on everything else. Just want to move on to our next story. Adam, why you have voting only yes or no? I wanted to say I hope so. I didn't vote in the end. Just go for it. It's a simple poll, that's all. Do you think United can get that 3rd win in a row? If you think they can, put in the yes. I know. Will United get their 3rd win in a row is a different question. Do you think they could? Like, what do you honestly feel? Like, how do you feel right now? Answer it that way. It's probably the best way to do it. A few of you have. And a few of you are looking very, very confident. I'm not quite that confident, to be honest. No offence, but unless Jim Ratcliffe's come and told you personally his this news is in the title is a load of BS and will most likely not happen, not Tate, just a realist. And so am I, mates. We're just looking at the stats. We're looking at the facts. United are after 1 of 3 of these players and another. So, yes, as if Sir Jim Ratcliffe was going to come and speak to me. Seriously, come on. I don't mind people having a go. But like I always say, and everyone in the chat will always back it up, you got to do better than that. You've got to. Anyway, moving on. We're talking about something that I was talking about this morning, in fact, just to go back on that actually there. And talking about Manchester United's PSR loophole and how Manchester United are about to break, well, let's just say, break a big hole into the PSR structure by selling a good core of pure profit players. Mason Greenwood was one of them we were talking about this morning. And Graham Bailey has actually come out this afternoon and said exactly what I said, that Manchester United are actually aware and monitoring the situation. They are not looking at their future plan, in fact, this summer being based around Mason Greenwood being sold by Marseille. Anything that comes from it is pure bonus for Manchester United. So that, I feel, is definitely proof that we are sort of talking the inevitable. It's been talked about so much that Mason Greenwood probably won't last past this season at Marseille. One more year in, and his value is going through the roof at the moment. Manchester United are about to really, really smash that, I think, record post Cristiano Ronaldo with the full sale here of Mason Greenwood. Great goal for Bilbao just been scored, by the way. Fantastic finish for them. They're beating Karabag 2-1 at the moment. Don't forget, join us straight after this show on Football Talks, where we will be doing the watch along for Liverpool and covering all of the other Champions League action tonight. That is straight after this show, everybody, so make sure that you're there. Mason Greenwood will eventually earn Manchester United more than 50 million quid. Closer to 60 million, in fact. So that, again, when you look at it, and Manchester United's recruitment are selling, you've got to say that is a job well done, considering the circumstances, extreme circumstances of Mason Greenwood's as well. So, yeah, I do believe that that will be huge for Manchester United. And like we said this morning, 100% profit, and that's going to go an awful long way for us next season, in what we can actually spend. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see how that one develops, and we'll keep an eye on it. But the more and more people are talking about it now, it is going to happen, I feel. And him and Rashford together, Romano actually was talking about Rashford before, again talking about how Barcelona are feeling right now. He obviously does need to keep up this form that he's in. And then you're looking at a definite sale past that anyway. And Manchester United cashing in on him also. It's going to be, I think, Manchester United's best summer in terms of recruitment, as in the money side and the selling side of things as well. So that's keep an eye out for. 100%. I think Manchester United fully on top of that this summer as well. Let's get some more comments in before we finish up the show, everybody. Realistically, are we getting either of those three this January? No, we're not. We're not. We should be getting a loan signing like a Ruben Neves. Well, Ruben Neves is not going to be loaned out because he has got 6 months left on his contract. So they're not, Al Hilal are not going to loan him when they know that, well, they would they would sell him, but they're not going to loan him because they want him for the rest of the season. And obviously, nobody's going to buy him this January either because they can get him for free in the summer. So, yeah, Neves isn't going anywhere this summer either, I don't think. I really don't think that Manchester United are going to be in a position either to go for Ruben Neves. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. There's a few potentials out there as well, different options that Manchester United might go for, but I just don't see it happening. I don't see it. And the fact that he's on ridiculous wages as well also tells you that it won't be an easy signing in January. I do believe there will be options there, and United will be looking for a loanee this January, but I'm really not confident it'll happen. And I think the talk of the academy lads coming through will start to ramp up even more. I do hope you are right, Adam, about future incomings. I really feel that we are turning a corner now. Oh, Pabs, keep the faith. Keep the faith. Weekend is edging ever closer, and we are getting closer to that Brighton game. Obviously, Ruben's press conference is on Friday, and we will be covering that here on Forever United TV, as we always do, live with that reaction. I'm expecting a very confident Ruben in that presser. It'd be interesting to see what his lineup's going to be for the Brighton game. Super chat in from Block. Thank you very much, mates. We should have beaten Arsenal. I was there. Bruno scores a pen versus Fulham, and we are 2 points clear at the top. Top 2 incoming. I know he's being sarcastic with that one there. It definitely is. But look, that is our show this evening, everybody. We're going to jump across now to Football Talks, where we're going to be on the full-on Champions League nights. Hopefully, we're going to be having a bit of a laugh about Liverpool losing again. I don't see it tonight. I think Liverpool are getting the win. I do. But I'm there to see the slide continue. Hopefully you are too as well, everybody. So jump across with me in just a moment. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you do hit the like and subscribe to Forever United TV. And I'll see you all over on Football Talks now in just a few minutes. Cheers, everybody.